Was I sitting in the middle of a crowded coffee shop talking about bones and blood rituals? Yes, I was. Good morning. If you're new here, my name is Becca. I'm a writer. I'm currently working on my debut literary fiction novel titled Project Eden, well, tentatively titled. It is what I have been pitching as a 90s East Coast autumn ghost story. And if you're not new, hello, hi, nice to see you again. I am keeping my voice down because Edwin is asleep because it is 7 a.m. I woke up at 5 today. I did a little bit of a gym session. Mostly I did stretching and some walking. I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but I get really stiff really quickly and I feel like I don't stretch enough to kind of combat that. So I spent 30 minutes in the gym. I spent about 15 of that stretching and then the last 15 doing an incline walk. And I gotta say, starting my day with a little bit of movement, unfortunately does make a difference. If you watched my last video, I basically did a whole week in my life trying to like wake up at 5 a.m. and be, you know, really head ass about my goals and all this other stuff that I'm trying to do with my life. And I decided that I really wanted to try and make that like a legitimate routine in my life. So I woke up today at 5. I actually structured my morning and I am running about like 30 minutes behind schedule because I had a hard time getting out of bed this morning, but that's fine. That's fine. We're still doing it and showing up imperfectly is better than not showing up at all. I'm actually getting ready to go write and I'm gonna go write at a coffee shop. I should probably tell you what this video is. You already know because of the title. However, I am taking you guys along an ideal day in my life as a writer with a 9-to-5. So this morning we are going to go do some writing and I found that I've been most productive writing outside of the house. And I think I've also kind of discovered that I, as a person, I have so much energy in the morning and then it just like slowly trickles down. So I'm taking a little bit of my own advice from my last video, which I will link it somewhere up here if I haven't already, and really trying to structure my day along with my strengths and just how my brain works and how I feel I work best. So I'm like, you know what? I think it would be really beneficial for me to start my morning with all of the things that I kind of dread doing and getting them, number one, out of the way. And I feel like dread might not be the right word. I think it's just stuff that I struggle to start mentally. So I got a little bit of movement out of the way. Was it the best workout in the world? No, but I think it's actually what I needed to just like wake up and start moving. And then we're gonna write for about an hour and a half. I should have already been there at 7, but if we get there at 7:30, I'm still so happy about that. Then we are going to work at the cafe during the morning, come back, make ourselves some lunch, finish the rest of the afternoon working from home, and then I'll take you guys through my kind of wind down evening routine that I think is gonna be actually perfect to set me up for success for tomorrow, because Tuesdays and Thursdays I am in the office, and so I really want to be diligent about my evening routine so I get a lot of good sleep before I have to be in the office all day tomorrow. I'm trying to be like less heavy-handed when I do my brows. Sometimes I tend to fill them in a little too dark. And I have some bald spots in like the front of my brows that I think I'm just gonna leave. Just just gonna leave it. Anyway, yeah, I already feel pretty good about how my morning has been so far. This week, I'm also trying to be really cognizant about my diet. I was not cognizant about that when I did my 5 a.m. routine last week, but I do want to just be really intentional about what I eat, when I eat, how I eat. I, as a girl, will sometimes not eat for long stretches of time, and that's not good. But I think also just like as I get older, as I think about aging and like how I'm taking care of myself, I did not take care of myself in my 20s, and I didn't really seek out information to help me take better care of myself. So I'm doing that now in my early 30s. Y'all know how important fiber is? Fiber is so important. So the two things I'm really trying to work on this week are my fiber and protein intake. And I hate sounding like a total gym bro when I say that. And I really hate to say it, but when I do focus on getting a lot of protein in my diet, I don't have nearly as many headaches. I don't feel nearly as much brain fog. I feel much more equipped to tackle the day. And that is so disappointing. I genuinely don't know how the girls on TikTok do like get ready with me's and like story times and like multitask, because as I'm talking to you right now, I feel like I'm having a stroke. I feel like I'm talking so fast and not making any sense at all. If you watched my last video, or even if you didn't, I'm really making a concerted effort to put time and care into my appearance as well, because I feel like that really helps with my self-esteem, and that's something that I'm currently really struggling with. This is the finished look, very simple, but I am going to head out to the coffee shop now. The way that I packed to work outside of the house, I brought like a full keyboard, because the last time I worked at the coffee shop, I was like hunched over and I gave myself such a gnarly headache. I will check in with you guys around lunchtime. We will talk Eden, we will talk progress, we will talk writing reflections, all that good stuff. But for now, let's go ahead and go write. It is time for our lunchtime check-in. It's 12:52, so I have 8 minutes until I really should probably get back to work, and it will also just force me to be brief, practice my brevity while I give my updates. I had such a lovely writing session at the coffee shop this morning. I truly did look insane because I had like my whole setup, but honestly, I found that having like my keyboard and like a mouse and my laptop like propped up honestly made the writing experience at the coffee shop like so much more enjoyable. First up for this check-in, I want to touch base a little bit on the routine itself. I will put it up on the screen somewhere, but last night I talked about it a little bit this morning. I wanted to be really concrete with the chunk of time that I was giving myself in the morning, and I wanted to be very deliberate about what I was going to be doing next. So I did manage managed to write for an hour and a half this morning, and I also managed to hit my writing goals, which was great. I feel like I got two really big things out of the way, and that was working out and writing. So I felt really comfortable and really happy with the progress that I made on Eden so far. I'm in the middle of a chapter where Peter is no longer a little shit, so that's been really fun to write. Overall, I just felt like I made much better use of my time this morning, and I felt like waking up at 5, I actually had like much more purpose and direction, having like a very strict routine or a very like regimented routine. So that was awesome. For the writing session itself, I don't know if it's just because like I was up, I was awake, I was alert. I felt like I was talking to so many of my friends this morning because I was talking to Lynn about moths. I finally turned in my feedback for her on the excerpt that she gave to me, so I was able to like talk to her a little bit about moths, and she asked a little bit about Eden, so we chatted for a while. And then I did do some sprints in our like group Discord. I ended up talking to Mick actually for like 40 minutes about Project House of Stone, which I think is now being called House of Bones. That was so fun. Like honestly, getting to talk plot with author friends is so fun. Was I sitting in the middle of a crowded coffee shop talking about bones and blood rituals? Yes, I was, and that's fine. The really great thing is that the more that you talk about your stories and your friends' stories like out loud, the more real they become. And also I feel like it makes you a much better critiquer and a much better like writing partner, because as you're helping someone else kind of navigate their story, it gives you ideas for how to navigate problems in yours, even if they're two completely separate genres. Like Mick and I are writing two very different genres right now, but a lot of the things that we were running into were actually quite similar. And I just feel like I've definitely conquered that hurdle of like sharing my work. And I think this has something to do with the people that I have shared it with. They have all been so lovely and kind and supportive and genuinely just want to help me make the story as good as it can be. So that has been so helpful. And then let's talk about Eden for a second, because I feel like I've been incorporating writing in my videos here and there, but I feel like I haven't given a proper update on Eden in a minute. So I just want to take some time to go ahead and do that. In the last video, we did hit 30,000 words in the draft. Right now, I am close to 36,000, which has been so wonderful. For those of you that don't know, I finished my draft back in January, and then that was really more of like a zero draft. So what I've been doing right now is really giving the story a lot more structure. Took some time in February to just completely re-outline it. I gave myself basically a chapter by chapter outline, as well as like a Save the Cat beat sheet that I wanted to follow. And while they have been really great roadmaps and they've actually kept me like pretty on top of things that need to be happening throughout the story, I gave myself enough wiggle room where if I wanted to explore different things that were coming up, I was able to do that. One of the things that I'm actually discovering as I'm going through right now is that I'm discovering things that make really great sense in terms of the story, but I am adding them way too late. So I am trying to make little notes for myself of like, hey, this is a really good plot point, but it really should be introduced here. And this is like a follow-up moment, not an introductory moment. So I've kind of been keeping tabs on things like that. And I have like a page at the beginning of this draft too, where I have a bunch of like bulleted revision notes for myself. So that's how I've been tracking like revisions as I'm going. I do feel like this story feels much more like a book at this point. Adding Laurel's point of view has done so much to open it up. I feel like I have so much fun writing in both her and Peter's story, like voices. It's so fun to get to see this place, Eden, from two very different perspectives. And I really thought that I would struggle writing a character that doesn't have any recollection of who she is. But I actually get to work with this like blank slate, and she gets to discover herself throughout the story, and it's so fun. I do think that my character arcs definitely need a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. I am heavily overwriting a lot of what is happening. I'm not too scared or nervous about it because I know when I go back and do revisions and I start weaving things in earlier, I'll be able to like cut things down. I think the reason I've been making such steady progress on Eden is because I've just allowed myself to word dump and not really care about craft too much. Like, I'm not killing myself over line level stuff as much as I was. So it's allowed me to make like pretty steady progress. And we're almost halfway through the book, like redrafting. So I think I'm gonna be pretty on pace to finish this draft by the end of May. I think that would be ideal. I think I also just want to take a minute to say that I'm so thankful for all of you that have been leaving really kind things about the book. I get a lot of messages actually on Instagram and through my comments about people that are just like genuinely excited for the book and they genuinely think it's interesting. I think with a story like this and literary fiction, like even though I really like it, I sometimes feel like, does the story make sense? Like, is this something people like would care about? And the answer has been an overwhelming yes so far. At least the premise sounds interesting. So I'm really interested to see, like, once I send this out to beta readers when the time comes, what the the feedback is going to be. I already finished my word goals for today, as I said, but I may write a little bit this afternoon if I feel so inclined. I do have quite a big block of time in the afternoon that I've just kind of left for myself, but that is the update. I chatted for 9 minutes. I'm gonna get back to work and I will check in with you when it's time for our evening routine. For the everything shower. Let's do it. It is 8:16. Oop. 8:17. Originally, I had scheduled from 8 to 10 for no screen time, but I am feeling like doing one more 30-minute writing sprint for today. So I'm actually going to do that from my bed, and then we're going to finish off the night reading The Hunger Games. I feel like I've been looking forward to just sitting down and reading that book like all day. So we're going to do a 30-minute sprint, and then we're going to read, and then we're going to call it a night. It is 9:50. I read for about 30-40 minutes. I did scroll on my phone for like 15 minutes after I finished my writing session. I ended the day with about 1,700 words. I got an extra 600 words in that 30-minute sprint. And it's a really cute scene between Laurel and Peter, and I'm just honestly having really a lot of fun writing it. So I felt like overall really good writing day. I am thoroughly enjoying this book. I already have like quite a few things tabbed just reading the first like 5 chapters, and 2 of my friends have already told me how much this book hurt them and made them cry in public. So checking in with you from my bed feels quite personal and intimate, and don't know if I'm gonna do it again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think I've ever done back-to-back videos where I like try a challenge and then, I mean, today wasn't really a challenge or anything, but I did want to like take my own advice and actually make a 5 a.m. routine quite useful and like intentional. So I feel like this really worked out well. I'm probably gonna do this again Wednesday and Friday because those are the days that I'm not in the office, but I am going to get ready and like wind down. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like me, if you want to see more, please make sure to subscribe. I post new videos every Saturday at 10 a.m. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, go ahead and leave a little cloud emoji. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!